Welcome to Mercy's Designs. Today I would like to show you how I made all these little favors. Now I'm not going to do 50 some, but you can see I've already done most of them. My daughter is graduating in the spring and I am getting a head start on getting ready for her graduation. So I will show you how to make this treat, and stick around at the end. I'll show you the matching invitation and another favor. Okay, so I'm setting this aside. And I wanted to start off by saying I saw this idea actually on Pinterest, and of course I thought it was just incredibly adorable. They are taking a candy bar, a little mini candy bar. Actually, it was a full-size one, but I decided to use the mini, and they're covering it up so it says she. And then I'm adding do it. She did it, I mean. So I thought it was adorable, and I wanted to show how I came up with it. But it looked, they did a full-size one, and it looked like they perhaps used an X-Acto knife, but that would take a very long time. So I decided to use my die set. So I have these layering squares, and this is the smallest one, and it's the scalloped one. So I have a template here that I came up with, and this shows what I did. Basically, I wanted to be able to utilize as much as I could of a piece of paper. So this color is similar to Tempting Turquoise, which is retired Stampin' Up color. And I have the ink pad for Tempting Turquoise, so I use this. This is a little bit lighter weight than a normal cardstock, so it works quite well. But you can see you can get 9 out of 1 sheet of paper of this. So my dimensions came out to 2 3/4 plus 1/16 of an inch. Why the 1/16? Because then I only had to cut it 3 times. So that was just more of a convenience thing than it has to be exact. It's actually surprisingly forgiving, this whole little thing. But when you are running it through the Big Shot, I wanted to make sure that I got exactly 1 inch in, and then I eyeballed the centering. So I'm going to bring in my Big Shot right now so you can see exactly how I did this. It's really quite straightforward. All right, so where's my piece of paper? Oh, here it is. It got a little covered. So what I do is I first of all just eyeball where the center is, and I'm thinking it's more or less there. Center meaning here and here. It's going to be a little bit more to the right, and then I measure the outside of the die. And because I did so many, I have now a pretty good idea where that would be. So I'm just going to run it through the Big Shot. And that's probably the trickiest part. It goes pretty well then. Okay, so I'm setting this aside. And what I have is you have this little piece that's cut out. Now I got it slightly crooked, but even that isn't a major problem. You just line it up. When you line it up, it's not too big of a deal. So I'll get started. You'll need liquid glue. Liquid glue is very important. Now I am going to go ahead and use one of the pieces I did before, just because it's a little bit straighter. But that one was pretty good. I'll probably end up using it. So what you want to do is line your window up and making sure that the little slightly, the wider side is onto the left. And you want to kind of put it fairly close to here. And what I do is bend it with 2 fingers over. Then I bring this up and around. Now I did about 50 of these, so I have gotten pretty darn good at this. Now I'm holding it just like this. I hope you can see this. And I'm adding a little bit of liquid glue here. And all the while I'm pressing. And if I need to adjust it a little, I can, but I'm not too concerned about the back. So there we have it. Now I'm just going to hold it just to make sure that it does not come loose. Okay, so now we have that part. The next part is we're going to do a little bit of stamping. Now I've gone ahead and stamped some here. And this stamp set is a celebration item. It's called Thoughtful Blooms. I really never thought I would use it this much, but I have used it a ton. And it has a coordinating small bloom punch. So this is the stamp that I already stamped here. And I'll go ahead and do that in Poppy Parade. This is the current color. I usually don't do colors that are not current. However, my daughter loves turquoise, so that is why I went with the Tempting Turquoise. So here we have one, and what we want to do next is get that black center, take our Memento ink it up, and then you just line it up, and I'm sorry about my head, and you just stamp. Now that one didn't come out perfect because I couldn't quite get over it really well, but you can see you just line it up, and then to punch, of course, you just punch it out like that. So pretty straightforward. We don't need any other colors for this one, but my other project I also use Granny Apple Green and the Tempting Turquoise. Okay, so we're gonna bring this back in and continue. So here is our little flower, and I like to glue it pretty well, mostly because this bends, so we want it to be able to stay like connected, if that makes sense. Okay, so there is a little give, and you can wiggle it back and forth. Now the next part is that you did it. So I'm going to bring in my pad here, and this particular stamp came from the Stamp of Life that I ordered off Amazon, and it says you did it, but we do not want the full you did it. So what I do is, instead of masking, keep in mind I did 50 of these, so you know I didn't have time to do tons of fancy things, is I just looked at it, and because it's a clear stamp, I just went in, and if I got over a little bit, I just rubbed it off. Not a big deal. And then I just stamped here. Now these are scraps I utilized when I am cutting. Well, let me see where my snips, oh, here they are. When I'm cutting cardstock for inside a card, I will have a little bit extra, and that's what I save these for, just reasons like this. Okay, so if I didn't quite get to the edge, I'm not too concerned to make this absolutely perfect. Looks like I had part of a dimensional there, but I think it's good enough. All right, so now we're gonna bring this back in, oops, and I just am going to glue it down. So very simple. This is not too complicated. It does get tedious if you're making a ton, but it's not that bad, and I had a lot of fun making them. They come in 8 per package of these snack size, and again, you can get 9 out of one single sheet of cardstock, so really not that bad. I didn't hold this down long enough, but I think it's just super, super adorable. Now, I want to make a giant one, so I kind of got started on it, which I'll show you a little bit. I had to use my X-Acto knife because my Big Shot can only handle 6 inches across, and this is more. I cut down a little bit, and what I did was I just brought this in, and then I kind of figured out where I want this to be on the edges and marked, and then I found a die that kind of framed this. I traced it and then used my X-Acto knife to cut it out. So I plan to decorate this with maybe class of 2020 and that sort of thing, using that stamp set that I have. What is it called again? Stamp of Life. And I'm not sure the exact name of it, but anyhow, what I'm going to do is do the same thing, line it up, bend it, and of course this is going to be slightly trickier, for sure. Bring it under, because we want to cover up, of course, everything that we don't want. Okay, let's see if I can do this on camera. Okay, all right, so I'm just being generous with some glue up here, and then I'm going to try to make it as tight as possible. Okay, that's not too bad for on camera. Now I think I could have, it's really not bad. Okay, so I will complete this later. I'll probably add a bunch of my flowers left over, and again I'll do a 20-20 perhaps, and I had some like the cap, where I don't even know where that is. Oh yeah, I'll do like class of 2020, maybe something. But I will finish decorating this off camera, and I will try to include a picture before I upload this. So that's a work in progress. Now, as I said, I made other coordinating products. This is my invitation. Ooh, I don't know how that stamp got there, but I covered up some things, personal information, etc. But it's my daughter. Please join us for a grad party honoring Shura, and she is graduating class of 2020, and the date and who to RSVP, which is me, Mercy, and my phone number, of course. So that's the invitation. And then I also made coordinating bookmark favors. So I made about 30 some of these, and I'll just grab a few. And I think they're really cute. Now what took a lot of time actually is die cutting and stamping these 2020. That was like the biggest thing. And I also have the Power of Hope stamp set, which is also a celebration that this sentiment, I forgot to bring that out, came from. And oh, I didn't talk about this is the last year's Let It Ride stamp set. I used that. So I think it's really very cute, and I'm very excited about this whole graduation. I'm doing a lot of the galvanized stuff for serving and this chalkboard, so super cute, I think. So I love doing coordinating things, and I think this definitely all coordinates together. And I still need to probably do thank you notes that coordinate as well, but pretty cool. Thank you for watching. If you have any stamping needs, please keep me in mind as your demonstrator. I sell Stampin' Up! Products. I will bring back in my whole tray. Wow, this was quite a project. So thanks again for watching, and happy stamping.